Hey everybody, I am your host, Brendan. I'm here joined by the best team ever as we are all in the room to discuss what's going on in baseball. And clearly there's a lot that's been happening, but we want to focus on one team as we always like to do and really peel back the layers of the onion and see how good or bad it smells. But I am your host. This is SwingBadder, brought to you by Batter Sports. Dad, how you been? How you doing? How's life in the fast lane?
If you keep the bar low, you're always happy.
There you go, folks. There you go. Bar low, always happy. Again, speaking of the bar low, here's the first son. Todd, how you doing?
If you keep the bar low and you go to the low bar, you will be doubly happy. And by the way, I don't think you could have a lower bar than where I'm at right now.
I'll give a couple updates before this, but if you're going to go out in the dating scene, don't go to the lowest bar to find your future. So just a couple, this is just some SwingBadder dating advice as you will, and that's a wrap on the dating advice. We're getting into the best of SwingBadder, and the best of SwingBadder has to be the most expensive team in baseball, as they are performing like the least expensive team in baseball. It's your New York Mets. And the New York Mets have had a great run recently, playing such great teams as the Washington Nationals in 2 series. I believe they played the Reds, the Rockies. I don't think they've faced off Oakland yet, although
They did face Oakland at the beginning of the year.
They beat
no, I mean in this run. They've had.
It just started with the Tigers on May 2nd.
Yes, the Tigers, the juggernaut of the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, it's
always.
So let's go.
These are all division leaders. Walk me through how great the money has been spent.
Let's just go back and think about these last 2 weeks and what's happened. On May 2nd, they had a game delayed against the Tigers, which meant they had to go to a doubleheader.
Ooh, a double dip.
Yes. And they lost both those games against the Tigers. Then they lost the next game on the next day, meaning they got swept by the Detroit Tigers.
That is true.
Horrible.
Verlander lost.
Right. The whole thing. And then they said, well, okay, let's go play the Rockies.
Terrible team.
Nothing cures your ails like the Rockies. So what do you think they did in the first game against the Rockies? You think they scored a lot of runs?
No, I don't think the Rockies would be Mark Grace's slump buster. I think that's the Oakland A's this year. But yeah, okay. So they go to the Rockies they're highly paid power team.
The highly paid, high-powered offense in the New York Mets manages in the first game to score 1 run and win against the Rockies.
1-0.
1-0. Okay, well, maybe they're starting to turn things around. The Detroit thing was just a flash in the pan, and then they lose 2-5 against the Rockies. Then they lose again, 6-13 against the Rockies.
Ooh.
All right, well, we'll take a day off. We'll go to Cincinnati. We've all seen the new City Connect uniforms. Not a stitch of red in them. They're all black. Well, we'll go to Cincinnati. They don't know what they're doing, right? Joey Votto's making up theories about aliens. We'll just go in and we'll clean up. Then we lost the first game against the Reds, 6-7. Then they win close. Then they win 2-1. They barely squeak out a win 2-1. And I still in the back of my head, here, Mets fans, that we turned it around.
Let me recap for a second here. This is 6 losses, 2 wins.
Yeah.
The 2 wins are 1-0 and 2-1.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is fantastic from a standpoint of they're not scoring a great, but their pitching is fantastic. 2-1, 1-0, great wins.
Yeah.
But when you lose 6 of the 8 in that span, it's looking pretty bleak. But yeah, 2-1, you're feeling good. They beat the Reds. They're feeling good.
And then they lost the next game.
What was that score?
That game was
5-0.
Yeah, 5-0. They lost. They got shut out. They got shut out by the Reds. They win
2-1, and then they're like, we need a day.
Reds.
The best part about the Mets is it's good to know when they need a day off from their bats.
They've taken the whole season off.
Fair point, but they aren't the worst batting average in baseball, which is a shocking moment for me.
Well, okay.
Yet.
Yet.
But now we're going to go against the Nationals.
Terrible team.
We've had our laughs about Corbin Burnson pitching for the Nationals. Would you rather have Corbin Burnson than Patrick Corbin? You know, it's going to be this whole thing. We win. Was it a 3-2?
Mind you, it was a 3-2 win, and Lindor gets a long single to score all 3 runs.
Right.
Lindor has been a huge clutch hit. So I think, again, he gets a cabana and gets to chill out, right?
And then they do this weird thing where they play 3 innings on Saturday. Then it starts to rain. They wait like 4 hours and then tell everybody, come back tomorrow and we'll pick up where we left off. It's not a rain out. It's suspended. I've never heard of baseball doing this before. So they do this thing where they suspend it. The next day they come back and lose 2-3 on the suspended game. So now they've won 1, they've lost 1. They come back later that night and their offense explodes, just runs everywhere, just puking runs all over the place. They win 8-2.
Point.
Yeah.
They scored all 8 runs in 1 inning. So the other 8 innings, they put up zeros.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
I'm not even, I have no defense for anything at this point.
Just wanted to clarify the 8 runs.
Today, they played a game at some god-awful hour of like 4 p.m. or something like that. Like nobody even, they were so embarrassed about playing. They decided to play like 4 p.m. against the Nationals. And the Nationals against Patrick Corbin.
Best so everyone knows, Patrick Corbin is the batting practice pitcher of 2023.
I think his ERA going into this game was something like 19.5.
It certainly it improved. It improved a lot.
What do you allow, like 2 runs?
He pitched the best game of his life.
2 runs over 7 innings. He struck out a guy. A guy actually swung at a Patrick Corbin pitch and missed, or just watched it go by. They lost 3-10 to the Nationals today. So now between the 2nd and the 15th, what's the record? They've won 5 games against Detroit, the Rockies, the Reds, and the Nationals. They should have won for $598 million or whatever their salaries are. They should have won 3 games against the Tigers, 3 games against the Rockies, 3 games against the Reds, and 4 games against White. They should have won every game. Every single one of these games they should have won.
I'm going to go back even further because it gets even worse. They played before Detroit. They played the Braves.
Yeah, but
they went 1-2. They went 1-2 against the Braves. Again, not terrible, not great. But then they faced off against the Nationals. Went 1-2 against the Nationals. Went 2-2 against the Giants. Now before that, this is where I think the Mets really need to change their division. The Mets are a West Coast team. This is proven in their schedule on how they played. When they went to the West Coast and they visited San Diego, they went 2-1 against San Diego, 3-0 against Oakland, not surprising.
Right.
2-1 against the Dodgers, and finished it off 2-2 against the Giants. That run alone is the reason why they are close to 500. Now, for those looking at records and what have you, the Dodgers clearly are taking away, are riding pretty smooth in the AL West and the NL West at the moment. But that West Coast swing is the reason why they're doing so well.
But they got some bad mojo from that series against the Giants. It was all the ex-Mets that beat them, right, in that last game. And from there, it's been downhill. I'm not going to sit here and like try to pretend like any of this is good. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like any of this is like fixable. I like Buck Showalter. I think Buck Showalter has been a good manager for other teams. I think Buck Showalter is a smart baseball guy. I think Buck Showalter would fire Buck Showalter right now. Tell me I'm wrong. And if you're Papa Cohen and you've sunk $375 million into this team, $375 million, and you're paying a luxury tax on it, how you do not fire Buck Showalter right now after this road trip.
It's a lot of cheddar.
Well, and let's see if we can make excuses. Scherzer and Verlander haven't pitched hardly at all. And if they come back and start to pitch, that will help. But what you can't pitch runs. I mean, you have to score. And that's really a problem.
I think what was it? Codify put out a tweet where the Mets were like the third from the bottom in run differential in the first 3 innings. The starters are abysmal. It was like every first inning, the opponent was scoring on this road trip.
I noticed a guy that started today ended the day with 880 earned run average.
Peterson should be completely either released or sent to single A ball at like the Brooklyn Cyclones or something.
Well, you have to pitch somebody, though.
Well,
I mean,
Dad, at this point, I could go out there and pitch.
you know,
You're killing your bullpen because they're out there in the third inning of every single game.
Yeah,
right?
that's terrible.
Yeah, Scherzer needs a new back. Who's that guy from Friday when he goes up and he trips and falls in the convenience store and he's like, my back, my neck and my back. That's Scherzer. Scherzer's that guy. And Verlander's finally coming back from whatever he had going on, vacation or something. Kodai Senga has, like, at one point in every game has imploded for runs. There's Epler, the GM, is now enshrined himself into the Hall of Fame. He is the king of turds when it comes to GMs. There's nobody as bad as this guy for what he's done. He has done nothing creative. Tell me one thing that Epler's had to do creative with a salary. What do you do with the Angels that was so creative other than write a check? Nothing.
You know, we at the beginning of the year pinpointed some teams we thought were absolutely pathetic. You know, we picked the Rockies, we picked the A's, we picked the Washington Nationals. Today, the Washington Nationals trail the Mets by 1.5 games. They're only a game and a half behind the Mets. We're 25% into the season. We still got 75% of the season, so, I mean, there's time to come back. The Mets are 6 games out of first. That's 6 games out of first is okay. It's just they can't score. They're losing to terrible teams. So,
but I think it's arguable that they've played the easiest 25% of the season that any team is going to have.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at some team stats that are really, really bad here. Individual stats. So you have the leading home run hitter in baseball. However, he only has 31 RBIs, which is really bad.
How about this? You want to hear this? They haven't hit a home run in 50 innings.
And they still have the guy who leads it. So if you look, hold on. So on home runs, their team is 21st. They're tied with the Seattle Mariners for home runs. Let's look at RBIs. Let's just see the stats as a team. RBIs, the Mets are 24th of 30.
So no, they don't score.
Yes, correct. That is a correct statement. Now, when you want to look at runs, these are the things that matter. These matter a lot. 22nd. Tied for 22nd with the Houston Astros. The other problem that they have is their pitching.
Oh, God.
The Mets pitching ERA as a team ERA is 21st. Behind the Nationals, the Giants, the Marlins, the Tigers, the Angels with a 4.54 ERA. And if you had that going into the season, you would be shocking me if you said their ERA was going to be that bad.
Think about the 3 starters you had at the beginning of the year. You had Verlander, Scherzer, and Senga. And if I were to tell you in mid-May that the team ERA would be flirting with 4.75.
Wait, I got a stat for you that's even worse. They have this thing called quality starts. The Mets are last with six total quality starts in the season.
I'm shocked they have 6.
They are tied for last with the Royals.
Oh, God.
The next team above them, again, this is a big leap, has 8. That's the Cardinals and the Reds and the A's.
Ugh.
The A's have more quality starts than the Mets. And I guarantee you all 8 of the quality starts, the A's got wins. Give or take. I'm sure I'm wrong. Check me, stat check. I'm probably wrong. However, the fact that you, again, start the season and tell me the Mets, we're 41 games in the season. They would have the least amount of quality starts. The least in baseball.
It's disgusting.
Now, add that to the fact that their batting and runs batted in differential is terrible, which means they're not hitting home runs when men are on base. I think at this point, Lindor has always started horribly. He has started horribly seasons, but this team stats is just a bit. Your RBI leader is Lindor at 31, tied with Pete Alonso at 31.
Right.
However, the strikeouts between the two of them is 85. 43 and 42. So they're competing with each other on strikeouts. They're batting 224 and 232. That's not getting it done.
No.
It's not getting it done. Nimmo is the only one batting. Is he the only one batting above 300 on this team? Nimmo?
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, it's just terrible.
It's so gross.
Well, it's kind of funny when you start off, you said, here's the things they're doing bad on. Let's see, the pitching is really bad and the hitting's really bad. Isn't that all there is to baseball is pitching and hitting?
Well, why don't let's look at errors.
Are they good at stealing bases?
Well, hold on. I'll give you a couple good things to look at. They have had 7 save opportunities, and they are 7 for 7.
Well,
it's because their relievers are the only thing doing anything in the game.
I'm just giving you good news. I can tell you a lot of teams are not 7 for 7, Boston. There's a lot of relievers out there that have not closed out games, and you lost your closer to start the season, meaning you're using Mr. Robertson. So he has done a fabulous job for you. It's something you don't have to worry about. I would love, as a Diamondback fan, to not worry about the closer situation.
I would love as a Mets fan to actually see my owner or my GM post something, talk about something, say something about this miserable road trip. At this point, I don't care if you fire Showalter. Show me you've got something. Show me.
Yeah, you got a big prop.
What is Vogel? Tell me. Somebody tweeted this out today. I don't remember who it was. Tell me what Vogelsnack does as a player. What does he do? He doesn't hit for average. He's not hitting for power. He can't run. He can't field. And he doesn't hit well against lefties. So what are you left with? What are you left with? You're left with fat Boba Fett trying to run around the bases on the times that he's able to actually punch one around.
Against a right-hander.
He's a light Movon. Movon can play.
He's aspiring. He's aspiring to it. That's what it's coming down to. Eduardo Escobar. You're done. You're done. There's nothing that Brett Beatty is doing in the field. I don't care about Brett Beatty going up against lefties. He's got to be there. He's got to be there.
Something's going on. So here's my theory. Something is going on.
It gets better. Tommy Pham batted 4th today. The guy is not even batting 200. Think about Showalter should be fired just for that. You put Tommy Pham batting 4th. Clean up Tommy Pham batting 191. That's what Showalter, you did that. On the Showalter where it says thank you for your service, it should say signed Tommy Pham, .191. Thanks for the memories with a heart over the I. KIT Tommy Pham.
Showalter wants to get fired. There's something going on in the locker room. There's something off with the team. A team with this much talent doesn't perform this bad consistently like they are. There's something going on. Either like Lindor or Alonso. Somebody is doing something. Someone has slept with somebody else's wife. Something happened that this locker room, they do not like playing baseball together.
Do you see hitting? If you watch the interviews afterwards, they're like, I don't know. It's just baseball. No.
I can tell you, David Peterson, to your point, is your Patrick Corbin. And he's worse than him. He's 1-6 with an 8.08 ERA. You can't pitch that. You can't pitch that. I'm sorry. You should not be pitching David Patterson ever.
He's got to go. Listen, Cohen, you've already spent $375 million. What's $40 million more? Just do 10% of your payroll. Just liquidate and move on.
He's 1-6 and he has one complete game.
And they keep rolling him. They keep rolling him out there.
See, look at Dad's face. You see Dad? Dad was like,
Well,
How do you get a complete game?
I'll bet the Mets don't have 2 complete games.
Were they punishing him?
How many complete games does he have?
the only complete game.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably their only complete game.
In like years.
And he's got a 174 whip. It's so fantastic.
It's a disaster. This is the proverbial train wreck with a dumpster fire on board.
He beat the Dodgers. I'm going to give you the complete game here. He beat the Dodgers on 6 innings. It was not the complete game. His complete game. Oh, this doesn't count. Come on, you can't do this. It was the Braves 5-inning game. That doesn't count.
They gave him
That's his complete game?
They gave him a complete game. That's a Come on, baseball.
Well, it answers a lot of questions.
So the Mets have no complete games on the season. They have 0. That's not a complete game. 5 innings, complete game. That's
Well, for a Mets starter, that's twice as long as most of them start. So what do you got?
like Satchel Paige is like, come on, 5 innings. I just got started.
Well, today, truthfully, not many teams have complete games.
Correct, but you can't change. That cannot count as a complete game. They need to do something about that stat. That's a ridiculous stat. For those that have complete games. The good news is Verlander's 1-1, and he has like a 2.25 ERA.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Max Scherzer has a 4.88 ERA.
My back, my neck and back, my back and neck.
My neck, my back, my shoulders.
Diamondbacks knew you was going to break down 12 years and 200 wins ago.
Well, I'm going to tell you, but stop it. I'm going to tell you that watching Bryce Harper lose it.
Whoa. You don't get to go. Not off that easy. I'm not done with this team. They're not done with this team. This team has so many problems. It's not even like Showalter wants to get fired. What he did today, he's like, I want to leave.
How do you do that with Tommy Pham? What's wrong?
Or do you think he hates the GM and he's like, you gave me this guy, now he's batting cleanup just to prove to you I hate him. Why you should have never got him.
Who did Epler sign for a year with the Angels?
I thought they signed Pujols.
He did, but I mean, like,
and Justin Upton,
yep. He had some really good signings.
Name for me one Bill Epler signing or team in the comments, something. Show me where Epler has succeeded. If that happens, otherwise he needs to be fired too. Like today,
he's the guy
because what he's going to do is going to screw up the trade deadline.
He's the kind of guy that marries a wonderful wife, and everyone's like, "Man, he must be a good husband," but he does nothing.
No.
And the wife is like a utility infielder. She plays every position, and nobody knows it. Like he literally has a staff of 100, and he sits there eating peanuts or whatever he's doing, working out. And like that Moneyball scene where they go to Cleveland, and the guy's got 9 people, and Billy Bean's like, "How many people do you need here? I just want to talk to you about a couple players." He has to ask everybody, what about that player? What about that player? What do we do with that? What do we do with that? He's getting players that the scouting team is like, why is he getting these players? We have these guys in our system.
In the meantime, you've got Mauricio.
Yeah, talk about your minor league system that's doing so.
Mauricio, Vientos, these guys are crushing it in Syracuse. They're crushing it. I think Vientos had 5 home runs in the last 7 at-bats, just something like that. Like, the Mets, contrast this for a second. Vientos has hit 5 home runs in his last 7 at-bats. The Mets haven't hit 1 home run in the last 50 innings. 5-0 innings. It boggles the mind. Like, if you had the Dungeons & Dragons 20-sided dice and you were trying to roll Kill Troll with spikes that came out of my back and I had to roll double 20s, if you rolled it 50 times, you're going to get double. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Dead. APBA. There's no way you're playing with a team in APBA and you don't roll double sixes at some point in 50 innings. 50 innings.
Have you played with my Dallas brother, Kyle? He will go that long without rolling that. Because that's Kyle.
Shout out to APBA.
So before we put a bow on this team is
can't put a bow on it.
Yes, we have
Gotta
to.
wrap
We have
it
to
in
put
a turd.
We have to put a bow on this and get to the next thing you want to talk to really fast. This Mets team, if they stay, this is the law of baseball averages to their point of it's baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays are not going to be as good as they are right now in their stats. Their stats are out of control. Hitting, pitching, everything. If I look up in 30 more games and the Mets are in the same exact place with everything, like their batting is this terrible, like they're hitting, they're pitching, I will just tell you, I will be shocked, horrified. But the one thing that I still can't get over, they played complete dog crap. They played teams that they should beat, and they did not beat them, and they looked bad. They looked very lethargic. They're not playing with any spunk, no spirit, no let's go get them.
There are base running errors. There are like just regular errors that are going down. There are stupid plays being made. They're like Alvarez getting picked off with 2 outs here on first. You're leading off. You got picked off first with the bases loaded. Where are you going? There's 2 out. Where are you going? What are you do? Like, just stay on first. Where are you leading off?
You know, everybody goes through hot streaks and cold streaks. What's perplexing about this one is they've played crappy teams, but just before this started, because you said this, they went on the West Coast and played really well. They swept the Dodgers. They beat the Padres. You know, they cleaned up on Oakland, of course, but they were playing really well. And then it's just like,
they picked up something. They picked up the wrong ladies in the West Coast.
This is the best part.
Recovered.
Do you know who they play tomorrow? As of this recording, they got 3 games against Tampa.
Yep.
Now, according the way baseball is and the way things are going, they'll probably sweep them.
Yeah.
If you're a Met,
you'll feel better anyway.
Yeah.
If you're a Met fan, I would go to those games just so you can see a team playing with spirit. Because the Rays play with spirit. If you watch the Rays play, they're fun to watch. I know nobody in Tampa's watching them, but if you're on the road, they're a road show. They're a fantastic. They're like maybe the Rays are the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Oh.
They beat up on everybody. They just go around. I know they just split with the Yankees, and the Yankees needed that split desperately. The Yankees
needed to win 3.
No, they just needed to win 2. Their team's so injured. But the Rays are they're playing, they're fun to watch. They're fun. The Mets are not fun to watch. There's something missing. I would say this, Jackie Robinson Day is April the 15th. If it would have been any later, I would have said the Mets should reject Jackie Robinson Day because he would be embarrassed to have them play as Jackie Robinson.
That's really bad.
So that's the bow on the Mets. The Mets are just a barn fire everywhere you look at it. I think Showalter wants to leave the team. He's tired of watching this team play without any spirit. Your top level talent is not. There's joy that's leaving this team every time they play baseball.
Yep.
And I don't understand it. So on the next level, you brought up Harper. So let's close it out with Harper. You wanted to go over Harper. My future MVP candidate of 2023, and you don't like him because
you should test him for PEDs right now. His reaction to middle reliever Mr. Bird, flipping the bird,
great middle reliever name.
The guy is the middle reliever for the Rockies. So the middle reliever for the Rockies threw 20 pitches, most of them were balls. Manages to knock gets the Phillies out and starts trash talking the whole bench. So what happens? Bryce Harper decides to jump out and start. You're going to fight Bird, who nobody knew of until today. It's obvious to me in his recovery that Bryce Harper is doing a little bit of the.
I saw that and I said, the only thing that can happen with this is that he screws up his Tommy John surgery and he's out for the year.
Right.
So I don't know what he's thinking. I know the whole Philly team was trying to hold him back, afraid he'd get hurt.
But Bryce Harper leads Major League Baseball in the last 10 years in times being held back by his teammates so he doesn't have to actually fight somebody. Like he even said afterwards, like, I knew my team was going to hold me back. Such a tough guy. And so, but he did make a true statement. He said, you are a loser organization, every single one of you, which is absolutely true. But then he says, he had this quote. He goes, I understand getting fired up for an inning and stuff like that. But once you make it about a team or make it about yourself and the other team, that's when I've kind of got a problem with it. Isn't that what he just did? Isn't that what he wasn't even the guy at bat?
I don't think we're talking about a summa cum laude brain here.
Yeah, he's crazy. Compliments to Bird. Compliments to anytime you control a guy so hard that it gets under his skin and he comes running out and he wants to fight you, even though he wasn't the person at bat, and you're a middle reliever for a team that's headed for the basement faster than, a serial killer looking to bury bodies. This is absolutely that. Yeah, I think Bird wins. TKO to Bird.
And Bird's not pitching too terrible, but he is not the same pitcher for the Rockies that but he put Mr. Jose in the injured list. That's a different Rockies pitcher. His name is Bard, B-A-R-D,
right.
Not Bird. So again, that could have been the confusion. So what I will give Bryce Harper the benefit of the doubt on this is I, again, love the passion. I'm okay if you wanted to get it tested, I'm fine with that. But the reason why I like Bryce Harper, and you're not wrong about him leading the league and being held back.
How does he actually fought anybody?
But he has hurt himself sliding into places. He's hurt himself running in the outfit. This guy plays the game and he plays it hard. And I'm sure Bird said some very terrible things. And at the same time, he's on the Rockies. And if I was the Phillies, who have spent money to win and are actually doing not too terribly after this horrible start, I would be upset with the Rockies too, because I'd be like, were you trying to hit our players? Are you trying to hit our, are you trying to put somebody on the injured list like your buddy Bard did? The Bard and the B&B club, the Bard and the Bird.
I don't think Bird threw at anyone.
Oh, but he couldn't hit the strike zone. So it was like it was scary to get up there. You're like, is he going to hit me? Is he not going to hit me?
It's like Paul Newman in the hockey movie. Like his only point was just to make everybody else mad so they would fight.
But again, they won 4-0. So congrats to the Rockies for upset for yes, Slapshot was fantastic.
Thanks.
They beat the Rockies. It's coming. Choo choo. Yeah. So it's we'll look forward to how many times Harper gets held back this season. So that is a wrap on the Phillies. That you have to say something negative about the Phillies because we focus so much attention on the Mets. I understand it. If you would have told me that the Mets were going to be in 5th place in their division, oh, it's so bad.
And look at the run differential. Like Miami has a worse run differential than them.
The run differential's bad. They're just not playing well. 6.5 back. They're, I think, 1 game back of the wild card. Thank God for that. But the Phillies had a terrible start. They're 20-20.
Maybe that's what Bryce Harper's really upset about.
This team didn't perform while he was on the injured list. He had to come back early. He's like, I have to do everything for you guys. Like, how much money is everybody getting? Where are you at, Turner?
Well, yeah. Hello.
I will say this. Does it matter the Turner-Nimmo comparison if Nimmo's the only one on the team that actually is hitting for average?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. There's nobody on the Mets running out of the dugout to go fight poor old Jake Bird.
It's because they don't have the mojo. They don't have the spirit. Well, that's our baseball wrap of the week, everybody. The Mets are not doing what Seattle's doing. I will put it this way. Future of the Mets, are we positive or negative? Dad, you're up first. Mets, are you positive or negative?
I'm sure they're going to come back. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, they're not going to play like this forever, but they've really hurt their chances by losing so many winnable games. I think they can come back. I can't believe that they can win maybe they can make a wild card, but they're going to have to. The games they lost that should have gone in the win column. You don't get those back.
Todd, are you positive or negative with the future of the Mets here?
I feel like I'm watching the baseball version of the Donner Party or that movie where the soccer team gets stuck in the Andes and the only way they can survive is by eating each other. I just like just when you think things are really bad, somebody suggests cannibalism. I think we're not far off in Citi Field. It's early, but we could see a fire sale come trade deadline. And we need to fire Bill Appler, like right now before the trade deadline, before he trades for somebody really, really nuts.
So here's what I will give the Mets. Buck Showalter, I think, is a better manager than this GM. I think he's trying to force the GM's hand from removing some players like Escobar. They got 3 or 4 players that just need to go.
Yeah.
They just need to pack them up and leave. And they haven't done it, so Showalter's just going to put them in prominent positions until he makes it happen. I believe in Buck. I believe in this Mets team. That you haven't seen the best of them. You certainly have seen the worst of them. I think they're going to be on the up. Are they the Seattle Mariners up? Will they catch the Braves or the Phillies? I had them winning the division, and I feel very unconfident with that pick. I will put that out there. I don't think they're winning this division, everybody.
You would need a massive collapse from the Braves right now.
Or some injuries. I mean, injuries as well. But again, the Braves just got swept, but they faced the Texas Rangers, and so we all know that's going to happen. The Rangers are going to get swept because that's how baseball works.
Yeah.
I think today was like 10-0 for Texas, for Atlanta.
The good news about the Mets is they didn't sign DeGrom, and DeGrom is still hurt. So there is an upside to this. Like at least Verlander and Max Scherzer are back. They're pitching, and we know they're going to be pitching.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our weekly wrap, if you will, with SwingBadder. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Dad. Any closing, last-second thoughts, Dad? What do you got for us for baseball? What's the thing you like the most about the season?
Well, I'm watching some motion here. I see St. Louis is starting to rise from the dead. I agree with you about Seattle. And I think the Mets will come back too. Tampa's lost some of the edge. They're now playing 5-5 in their last 10 games. So there's motion happening we got to watch.
Todd?
Just make it stop. Just
the Rays are in town, everybody. Go see the Rays play the Mets. You're going to see some good baseball because the Rays are in town.
There's the definition of batter sports right now. It's awful. It's so bad.
Hey, this goes to prove when you spend a lot of money, you don't get a lot of wins. But if you spend like the A's, you get a lot of losses, and that's the lesson, folks. The other thing I was noticing about the A's, people don't know this, but the A's relief staff is all ex-Mets. They have Trevor May, they have Familia, and they're terrible. And I'm like, well, the Mets did clean that out. Thankfully, they don't have those guys to close games. That's it for SwingBadder. I'm your host, Brendan. That's Todd. That's Dad. Thank you.